They were surrounded and fought for their lives.
It's the worst place I've been to. My dad's like walking the park out here.
Different ball game, this totally different ball game. Fighting coming in, Taliban quick to surround you out here.
I've seen things happen that you read about in books and see in movies.
Do you think you've made any progress?
My perspective, probably no. From everybody's perspective here, no. Like the Alamo, we're stuck in this conflict.
Resupply became a major problem. They were never meant to be so thinly spread and fighting such a formidable enemy. There weren't enough men or helicopters for what the mission had become. The general spoke out.
There's no doubt the fighting in the summer was very, very intense, and I think it was to you that I said it's probably as intense as anything the British Army has seen since Korea.
Why do you think politically we weren't allowed to know what was really going on in Helmand?
I think, for what it's worth, my own personal view is that people who were taking these decisions didn't know how it would play back in the UK.
But destroying the very homes and businesses they'd come to protect did not play well at home either. No one knows how many civilians died in this town when airstrikes were called in to support besieged troops. But a mosque, a school and a hospital were all hit. The exhausted paras fought on to the end of their tour before handing over to the Marine commandos that are now with.
Free section! On me!
The Taliban had been pushed back, but at great cost. 18 British troops have been killed in action. Hundreds more Afghans have died.
2 or 3 months ago, the Taliban had set out to eject British forces from Helmand. They were saying they'd do another Maiwan when the British Army was defeated in 1880. The fact is, we defeated them.
There are still clashes going on every day between British forces and Taliban in Helmand, in all different parts of Helmand.
Yes, there are still incidents, but they are down a lot, and we're also not inflicting as much collateral damage, which inevitably was the case when we were being attacked so viciously in those district centres.
But the Taliban are still here in Gamsa. Some are the people of Gamsa. On the outskirts, the patrol tries to pick up snippets of information. Many of these huts were built by people from the town. They come here when there's trouble. He tells Jason there are no Taliban here.
If I were to drive over to the west towards the canal, how far would I get before I would meet the Taliban?
These people are caught between farming and the fighting. It's dangerous to stay put, but they can't leave their animals or what little land they have.
توپک خو نه ویني دا زموږ لوخان دي اور اخی او توپک مرده کوم شته بس اور اخی زموږ ټول کوچنیان مري خو چیر ولاړ ته وایه.
All along the fringes of the desert, there's a sense of denial, claiming to know nothing and blaming outsiders.
خبرې د طالبان د کومه خوا راغلي دي د اسمانه راولېدلي دي که لنځه کې راغلي د پاکستان راځي وروره له ایران راځي له بل دولته راځي له بله دولته راځي مګر په دغه سنه یې موږ ولا کښتۍ له کومه ځای راغلي موږ د حکومت په مقابل کې نه یو ولا د طالبانو په ګناه منس.
They're trying to get information, but also putting on a friendly face for the local people.
It's gone right through, isn't it?
helping where they can.
The skin's healed back over where he's saying the glass is. So it's actually inside his foot. It's happened too long ago for us to get the glass out.
It's guerrilla warfare with a heavy slant on the hearts and minds, and bringing the locals on side and remaining fluid and changing from hearts and minds to war fighting, if you like, almost every second, every minute.
And heading into town to speak to the Afghan army, that readiness will soon be put to the test.
See quite a lot of damage on the buildings. We've got a lot of fighting around here, it's very quiet. And the police station that we're heading to is just over there, I think.
The Afghan forces, not the British, hold the town centre, but the surrounding area is Taliban-controlled. The army's intelligence officer says yesterday's skirmish left 9 Taliban dead and 30 injured. It's impossible to confirm this, or to know if civilians were among the casualties. He admits some Taliban fighters are local people.
د محمد رسول الله یا د شریعت یا د اسلام یا زموږ د افغانستان په دود او په کلتور او په اسلام او په شریعت کې د انسان علیدل نشته.
And there is every reason to fear the more ideological Taliban, many trained in religious schools in Pakistan. This is Mullah Dadullah, the senior local commander, a founding father of the Taliban. His recent video shows 6 men being beheaded as British spies. Dadullah's men have declared holy war on all foreign forces. But they're only one part of the insurgency. Local warlords and drugs barons also want the British defeated. And ready to take on Jason's men, there's no shortage of disaffected locals. They pull out of town. The Taliban is nearby. Then it starts. An ambush. In the chaos, I could just make out a little girl's face. She was terrified, running for cover between our position and the incoming fire. The bullets passed just overhead. They were going for us, thinking we were the command vehicle.
Getting closer.
You're getting closer.
Getting closer. We were just crossing the bridge, across the river, when the shots started coming in. They returned fire. We're behind a wall now because we heard shots overhead. Just a whizzing sound, quite a lot. They were getting closer and closer. So we're now behind this hard cover, and I hope they can't get us here.
The Marines push forward into position.
That was close.
Fellas, stay down.
We are. Yeah, we're trying to.
Don't take any chances with this.
They're pinned down by the heavy machine guns.
Scotty, boss, stand by for burst, over.
Halfway between the large tree and the other one. Got your aim to me?
The Marines call in artillery and an airstrike.
Left.
Artillery is online. The lads are still watching the firing point. There's still a gun there.
There is still a gun there?
There's still a gun there, yeah.
They've stopped firing, is there a reason for that?
They've stopped firing. I don't know whether they've got a problem with ammo or whatever, but there's still a lot of movement there, so... It's inbound in about 7 or 8 minutes.
A 2,000-pound bomb is cleared to be dropped. A massive amount of force, but all that's available quickly. The Taliban compound is identified.
You have the bridge in the bottom was shot, and the building.
It's just seconds before the bomb is due to be dropped. Then a civilian walks straight into the target zone.
We're going to cancel the fire mission. We've just had some civilians move into the location, so we've had to call it off.
It's been an intense exchange.
The thing is now, you don't know exactly what went on there until the patrol start giving out the command indicators. So initially we thought the contact was happening from there, and then we got engaged from the left as well, so we knew about the 2 contacts going down. And that only happens when all the call signs start chatting to each other.
With all men accounted for, they head back to the safety of the desert. Probing the Afghan wilderness, using guerrilla tactics themselves, lays the groundwork for bigger NATO operations to come. But is the campaign making any progress?
Are you winning?
Possibly. It's a turning point at the moment. We could go one way, finish it, or the other way, and make it a much harder job for us to get things done. This is why, it's quite important for my job to stop that happening with the collateral damage.
Warfighting tactics, if you like, are out the window, and they are actually torturing locals in there and moving locals into places where they don't want to be and moving them out of locations where they do want to be. They're creating a buffer zone with locals, women and children. They will not come out of the towns or villages and fight us, certainly in this area.
It's about 8:30 in the evening. We're moving into Garmsir district centre. The Afghan National Police say they're surrounded by Taliban and fear that the town could fall.
6 new vehicles have turned up. It's vehicles I haven't seen before. Apparently they're full of Taliban, and they think that an attack is imminent.
The way that we're going in is the same way that the force was ambushed last time they were in Garmsir.
And everyone is absolutely convinced an ambush is waiting again. For me, it's the most terrifying few moments of the mission, just waiting for that first shot to come in. The Taliban control everything to the left and directly ahead. The commandos call it Ambush Alley.
Where are the Taliban?
Taliban. How many? 1, 2, 10. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10.
Hearing it from the police, it certainly seems that Garmsir is about to be attacked. Spam tries to deploy the Afghan police into defensive positions, but he's having problems.
1, 2. 2?
See.
Okay. Where?
12, yeah, 3 is there. 1 way, 2 way.
Communication is difficult.
We'll be alright with seeing those tits that wouldn't start shouting to the old-fashioned way.
There's no sign of the 6 vehicles or the Taliban reinforcements. The Afghan police are relaxed. They've been smoking drugs. The suspicion is they've brought the commandos in to give themselves an easy night.
What was that, Spam?
Snipers.
From your snipers?
Yeah.
There's a few there, like.
Yeah, there's at least 3.
What's happening is about 10 minutes ago, they spotted people skulking around in like the far side of there.